Well, here I come, Gracie. I got my jacket off. I'll be in the kitchen in a minute. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. What a time for the power to go out. No electricity, no power. That cold wind blowing from the northwest. This old drafty house. Oh my. Oh, things are going to get tough. Yeah. You know, if you're not prepared for this could happen anytime. Ice storm, a blizzard. And they're telling us we might have potential for an ice storm. This is going to get nasty. Let me see if I can find the flashlight. Oh, there it is. Where you at, Gracie? Oh, need to find that lantern. Oh, I found it. It's here on the kitchen counter. Thankfully, I put it there the other day when we had that last Arctic blast. Well, that'll give us a little bit of light, but it's going to get cold quick. So, what'd you say, Gracie? Yeah, you're right. We could use our range to heat up our house. Here, I'll turn it on before it gets too chilly in here. Oh, that's right. No power. It won't light. What'd you say? We could get some matches or a lighter? Well, I don't know where a lighter is right now. I think I have some matches up here. Oh yeah, right here. Good thinking, Gracie. Whew. Let's get some heat on. Well, I was chilly and shivering from being outside. So it might be hard to get these matches to light. The old man's quivering. I got one to light. There we go. Whew, we'll set that on high. Let's get another one going. Get some heat going on here. Woo! Gotta be careful there. Should have had that mega burner turned down low. Remember that, Gracie. Well, that'll give us some heat. So no fear. But hey, I think I can even do better than that. I think I got something that'll help, force that heat around throughout the house. Let me see. Put my matches here. Yeah. Ooh, first thing I need to do is put something over that burner. Put our cast iron pot on there. Cast iron skillet. It'll accumulate that heat and radiate it out. That'll be even better. I think I got one more. Let's check down here. Oh yeah. Put one on that other burner right there. That'll make it more safer too. You don't want to have an open flame around, especially when the lights are off. Whew. That was close. Now we will get our solar generator to get some lights on. Oh, there we go. Man, that was rough. There for a minute, I thought we were going to freeze to death. Thankfully, we got a gas range. Oh yeah, we'll be toasty, no matter what. Let's save gas for now. Thankfully, that power came back on. There we go. Whew, that was a scare. I'm going to leave that lantern right here on the counter in case that wind whips up again, knocks the power out. I don't know what we'd do. Thankfully, we got that gas range. Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. Oh, yeah, what'd y'all do? Run in when the power went out, too, to get warm? Probably guessed old Papa Tom had things together and was prepared. But what I'm going to talk about this evening is something a lot of people forget. And I know this by talking to them over the years. Yeah, winter storm preparation and how to learn not to freeze and die. And of course you can get backup heaters like little buddies and big buddies. You can install you some natural gas or propane wall heaters that require no electricity. Or you can put in a central floor furnace like mine, which does require no electricity. And of course my front fireplace furnace requires no electricity except for the pan, but it'll still operate without the pan. So yes, we do have backup heat sources here in my little old country home. And I hope you do too. But what a lot of people have that they often forget about, especially when the power goes out during these here winter storms, if they don't have an all-electric house, is they got to remember they have a gas range. And yes, it will work when the power goes out. Now granted, the oven will not come on unless you've got an older oven or range that's probably 15 years or older, because they used a pilot light like the one I used to have before I replaced it with this new one back in 2012. Yeah, and that was to save gas and, you know, improve efficiency, because that pilot light kept burning every minute of every day, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, where this one does not. The burners use an electronic ignition system, and the oven uses an igniter rod. It's electrical. And when you turn on your oven, electricity flows to that igniter rod. It glows at the brightness of the sun, ignites the gas. Your oven comes on and starts heating up. But if that igniter rod turns off, the oven goes out. It's a safety feature. So no, you can't light your oven manually, but as you saw in our little reenactment there that Gracie and I put on, you can manually light your burners. And knowing that simple thing, which you'd be surprised, many do not, can save your life in the next blizzard, winter storm, or ice storm. But there's more that you can do. And let me show it to you. Now, as you could, or maybe couldn't see too well in our little reenactment, was I got a little box of matches. Couldn't find a lighter around here. Got a little box of these diamond matches. And I use them to light the burners on my stove. Now granted, you need to turn them down on low. I forgot on that last one, and you see how it flared up. So you got to use a lot of caution when you're doing this. If you're going to manually light the burner, you want to put it on low. And we'll just relight this one over here that flared up on me. Make sure you got your match out. You got it ready to strike before you even turn the gas on. Get it ready to strike, or better yet, strike it now. Turn your gas on low. There you go. Lit. There we have it. And it's going now. But we'll turn it back off for safety's sake. Then you see, to make it even safer, you don't want to leave those open flames sitting there where possibly could get your clothing on fire, like your sleeves, or a kitty could jump up there. So I placed these cast iron skillets on top of the burners to cover the flames. And that does two things. That makes it safer, covers up the flame. Plus these cast iron skillets will heat up, retain the heat, and radiate it out. In other words, making it far more efficient. But there is an optimum way. Another, call it a hack, that you can do to make this setup even more efficient the next time your life may depend on it in a winter storm. Let me show it to you. Now, what I have here is a wood stove heater pan. Requires no electricity. The heat from the wood stove heats up this base. Then the motor is actually ran by electricity that is produced by the thermocouple in the base of this heater pan. And you know what? It'll work on other things besides a wood stove. So I'm going to set it in this pan. Now I'm going to plug my stove back up if you don't mind. And we'll continue on. So the stove's plugged back in so we can light the burner the right way. There it goes, just like that. Electricity, and we're going to set it at a 5. And this particular heater pan came with this nifty magnetic thermometer. It's meant to go on your wood stove to show you at what temperature is for optimal performance. Like down here from 0 to 300, your wood stove would be creating creosote. Best operation of your wood stove is from 300 degrees to 650. And from 650 to 900 is too hot. But what I use it for is, should the need arise, I place it in the skillet to tell me how hot it is. And if heating up these skillets is not going to cause them any harm. If you've got good quality cast iron, heating them empty ain't going to bother them a bit. Now I've got this burner, which I'll talk a little bit about your different sizes of burners right now while this pan's heating up. You'll have a small burner, which is on mine is right over there in the top right corner. That's for simmering. That little small burner will develop anywhere between 500 and 2,000 BTUs. The burner we're using here, a middle range burner, is anywhere from 500 on up to 4 or 5,000 BTUs. This one here on the left back corner is a 15,000 BTU burner. Not sure of the range. And then my largest burner over here is a 18,000 maximum. Oh, you see the fan starting? Give it a minute. It ain't been long. Because while I've been talking, you've been watching it in real time. And right now, the thermometer on the pan says we're right up about 260, about to hit, no, 160, about to hit 180. Give it time. The fan will turn. And I'm just letting it heat up slow. Yeah, there it goes. It's starting to turn. It's magic, isn't it? No. Electricity can be generated by heat through a chemical reaction in the thermocouple base. Yeah, I could get into all the scientific and engineering aspects of it, but do you really need to know? You can look up all that. But now, not only do I have an emergency heat source that is totally safe. I mean, we cook on our ranges every day, and we don't die. And by placing the pans on to make sure you're not being exposed to the open flames, the pans also absorb and radiate the heat for better efficiency. Hey, now we got a fan that will circulate the heat. You see the madness to this old engineer's method? And you could literally put a pan, a skillet on each burner and one of these fans. And what you might not know, most gas ranges have a total burner capacity of somewhere around 40,000 to 60,000 BTUs. That's a pile. Small whole house furnaces are around 44,000 BTUs. Mid-range gas furnaces are anywhere from 50 to 70,000. And they just go on up from there depending on the size of your domicile. But the reason I wanted to show you this is because I've had some discussions in the last few years with people that did have their power go out, or their oil ran out, and they were extremely worried. And they hadn't bought a little buddy or big buddy and all of that. And what did I tell them to do? Remain calm. Don't panic. I got you covered. Trust me, I do. And I would tell them about using their stove. And many of you, if you're old boomers like us, you probably already knew that. But you'd be surprised. I've known a few boomers I've had to tell it to. But when I was growing up, I could always remember my my grandmother, and even my mother during the winter months. The first thing they'd do is get up, walk into the kitchen, and fire up some burners on the stove to take that morning chill off the kitchen before we kids all got up. Back then, they'd even open up the old oven door and fire up the oven too. But now we can't do that anymore because of the safety feature using the igniter rod. But with another winter Arctic blast starting to descend on the southwest, well, really, the whole east of the country, knowing this could save your life. And getting some of these fans, whether they have the thermometer or not, will really help your efficiency and help get that heat out to where it's needed throughout the rest of your house. So I thought it was worth showing it to you. And that little fan cost me $23.99. I think it's up now to $32.99. But in my mind, it's worth every penny when the lights go out and the winter winds are howling outside in this old drafty house. I'll leave a link below the video. So if you choose to, you can purchase one or 4 or 2. I'm going to get another one. So I'll even have more circulation towards the rest of my house. Because I can tell you, in the mornings, when this kitchen is very chilly because it's on the north side of the house, doesn't have any heat in it. My central heat is in the center of the house. It's an updraft floor furnace. If you know what that is, you can look it up if you don't. Yeah. I have heat in the den, and I have that other furnace up in the front. But the kitchen is on its own. So yeah, there'll be many times I'll come in here and turn this burner on, throw a skillet on it to help heat up the kitchen a little in the mornings before I went to work or got breakfast done. Let me know in the comments below the video if you can remember your mama, your grandmother, your great-grand heating up their kitchen with the stove and oven too. Look at that fan turn. Let me show you what that thermometer says. Now I'm on a 5 dead nuts medium on my burner. And as you can see, that skillet's at 380 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can feel that fan blowing that heat on out into the rest of the kitchen. and the house. It's not magic. It's engineering and science at work. Whew. Now we're safe. And of course the power is back on. And we have our other heat sources. We're prepared the best we can be. Well, friends and family, like I said, I'm glad you stopped by. And I'm glad I could warm you up when it's so cold outside. But yeah, I'm sure many of you already knew you could use your gas range. But if there was one person out there that didn't know or was afraid or didn't know how to, maybe they'll see this video and learn how to, and it could save a life. So yeah, I appreciate you stopping by Mr. Tom's neighborhood on this windy, blustery night. I hope you're staying warm. You're sharing the time with your friends and family. Stay safe out there. Make sure you got plenty of covers, and maybe you might want to invest in some thermal coveralls too. I got them, should all else fail. Think about the ways you can stay warm at a minimal cost. And this is about as cheap as it gets. You probably already got some skillets, and you got a gas range. And I'll tell you one other thing about that little setup. If you've got an electric cooktop and you just want to distribute some heat around, you can get one of those thermal fans. Put your skillet on top of your electric stove, turn it on, heat up the pan, put the thermal fan in it, it'll come on and spread the heat throughout your house too and help you out. So yeah, until we see you on that next video, y'all take care out there, stay safe, and please stay warm. And may God bless you as you bless those in your lives. And with all that said, we love you a lot. Until we see you on that next episode, Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, goodbye for now. Whew. Well, we don't need it right now, but it's nice to know we have it should the time come. You never know. There might be somebody out there that can benefit from this when the lights go out. Yeah, Gracie, I got to reset the clock on the stove. You want to come in and help me get the supper done? Where you at, Gracie?